Hello and welcome to Chapter 1, Lesson 4. Today we're going to be talking about ratio tables. So if you could open up your book to the first page, we have this question here. It says refreshments. A punch recipe uses 1 container of soda and 3 containers of juice to make 1 batch of punch. So we've got 1 container soda and 3 containers of juice. So we need to draw to show the number of containers of soda and yellow containers to show the number of containers of juice. Yellow counters, there we go. So we need 1 soda, 2, 3 juice. So if I was going to write that in a ratio, I would write 1 to 3. Okay. Now our next question says, what if I wanted to make 2 batches of juice? So I'm going to double that. So our ratio should be 2 to 6. And then if we wanted to do 3, we take our original ratio of 1 to 3, and we can use equivalent fractions and just multiply it if we want to make 3 batches. So we would have 3 containers of soda to 9 containers of juice. All right, so here it says the quantities in the opening activity can be organized into a table called a ratio table because the columns are filled with pairs of numbers that have the same ratio. Okay, so we can see these are the exact ratios we just came up with. 1 to 3, 2 to 6, 3 to 9. The ratios are equivalent. We've talked about equivalent fractions, so we can have the same equivalent ratios, since each simplifies to a ratio of 1/3, 1 to 3. Equivalent ratios express the same relationship between quantities. So here we have an example that talks about, to make yellow icing, you mix 6 drops of yellow food coloring with 1 cup of white icing. How much yellow food coloring should you mix with 5 cups of white icing? So we can set up a table using our original ratio, 6 to 1. And then we can use our equivalent ratios, multiplying the first ratio by 5 to get 30 drops of yellow food coloring for 5 cups of icing, because we multiplied both of the ratios by 5. So how many drops of yellow food coloring should we use? 30 drops. Next question. A patient receives 1 liter of IV fluid every 8 hours. 1 liter of IV fluid for 8 hours over our time. Notice how they didn't write hours, they wrote time, and then they put in parentheses the unit we're using is hours. IV fluids, the unit we're using is liters. So if we want to know how many hours it will take to receive 4 liters of IV fluids, we know we can multiply by 4 our IV fluid liters, multiply by 4 to get 32 hours. 32 hours it will take for them to use 4 liters of IV fluids. So 32 hours. To make cranberry jam, you need 12 cups of sugar for every 16 cups of cranberries. Find the amount of sugar needed for 4. So we're going down on this one. So if I divide 12, here's what I'm going to do. Let's do this. Divide by 2, I'm going to get 8. Divide by 2, I'm going to get 4. So the same. Divide by 2, get 6. Divide by 2, I'm going to get 3. So the amount of sugar needed for 4 cups of cranberries is 3 cups of sugar. Multiplying or dividing two related quantities by the same number is called scaling. So what we've been doing here is called scaling. There we go. Sometimes you need to scale back, like we just did with the cups of sugar and cranberries. And sometimes you need to scale forward, like we did with the IV fluids and how many hours. So we're just finding equivalent ratios by either dividing or multiplying both ratios. Example 3, cans of corn are on sale. 10 cans of corn for $4. Here we go. Cans of corn, 10, cost in dollars, 4. Find the cost of 15 cans. Now we can't just add 5. Would be nice, wouldn't it? Here's what I see we can do. We could, I see they're going to do something else. I was thinking this. What if I multiplied by 3, and then I could divide by 2 to get 15. Divide by 2 to get 6. Did I get the same as they did down here? I did. So now we see there's not one way to find the answer on these questions. You can do whatever you see. They saw, hey, if I divide by 2, then I could multiply by 3. Divide by 2, multiply by 3, get the same answer. So 15 cans of corn would cost $6. All right, question 4 says, Joe mows lawns during his summer vacation to earn money. He took 14 hours last week to mow 8 lawns. So his rate is number of hours, 14, number of lawns, 8. How many lawns could he mow in 49 hours? So when we look at this, can we multiply 14 by something to make it into equal 49? We can't, but if we went down to 7, so if we set 14 by 2 and got to 7, we know that 7 times 7 is 49. So then if I do the same to number of lawns, 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 times 7 is 28. We can know that he can mow 28 lawns in 49 hours. So first we had to scale back to 7 and then scale forward to 49 in order to figure out how many lawns he could mow in 49 hours. Ready? Let's do this. A child's height measures 105 centimeters. Estimate her height in inches. So they're giving us the rate of 25 centimeters is equal to 10 inches. Okay, now our question is, can I go all the way up from 25 to 105? No, I can't. But if I divide by 5 and get down to 5 here, 25 divided by 5 is 5. Divide our height by 5 and get 2. Then I can multiply 5 by, let's see, how many 5s equal 100? 20. And then I need one more. Multiply it by 21. Multiply 2 by 21. And I will get to 42. So estimate her height in inches will be 42 inches. There we go. All right, let's do a couple practice problems here. Let's look at number 1. Santiago receives an allowance of 7 hours for 1 week, $7 per 1 week. How much does he receive after 4 weeks? So we could do it this way. 2 weeks, he'd get $14. 3 weeks, he'd get $21. 4 weeks, he'd get $28. So he would receive $28 total after 4 weeks. So we have that option. Just kind of go up, well, how much would 2 be? If we get, this is called our unit rate because we have 1. 1 means unit, not units, or we'd have more than 1. Next, Tanya runs 8 kilometers in 60 minutes. Distance run in kilometers, time minutes. 8 in 60 minutes. Okay, at this rate, how long would it take her to run 2 kilometers? Now, I don't know why we couldn't just divide by 4, divide by 4, 60 divided by 4 is 15. Okay, so it would take her 15 minutes to run 2 kilometers. Another option, which is probably what they want us to do, is do divide by 2 to get 4, divide by 2 to get 30, divide by 2 to get 2, divide by 2 to get 15. You know, that one I didn't have to think about too hard. I didn't have to do any dividing because, I don't know, maybe you know what, well, I should have known what 60 divided by 4 is, but maybe it's easier for you to do it that way. All right, so I'm going to put this one for our question for today to see if you can tell me how much she'll pay. Use a table to determine how much Lamika will pay to buy 8 more packs of juice boxes at the same store. So answer that question for me for your quiz question today. Thanks for watching.